I'll go right.
Burks and the foul. He does it again. And he's got his fourth straight 20-point game. Beal inside the lane, threw it behind him. Here comes Barrett. One man to beat. It's Beal. Barrett inside. He's fouled and one. R.J. Barrett with a chance for a three-point play. Burks finds Randall. Randall in the corner. Harris all over him. Randall step back three, puts it up. Shot. It's good. It's good. Randall gets the bounce and he ties the game with 5.1 remaining.
All right.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, bet, man. Yeah, that was my fault, man. I had something off. I realized it last minute. But yeah, man. What's good? Thank you for your patience, though, man.
Oh yeah. I know how it is, man.
Yeah, man. So what do you think about the end of this season? Season's done. It's just it was rough, but overall, I would say, we kind of waking up a lot of people's eyes on the potential, and how it feels. We kind of reminded people how it feels really when the Knicks are popping. The NBA is a popping league, man.
Yeah, true. No, it was good to see the Garden, and the fans and everything. I just felt like I felt like they could have gave a lot more in these playoffs, but you got to give credit where credit's due, man. I mean, the Hawks had a game plan. I agree with what you were saying. I don't think they're, light years better than us. I just felt like we couldn't make, like you said, we couldn't score the ball, man. But
Yup. No production, no production from Randall or RJ at a consistent pace.
Score, man.
Say that again.
You can't go 4 or 5 minutes without scoring the basketball.
Yo,
that's crazy.
Yeah, just even tonight, in the third quarter, we had 7 points with 5 minutes left, and that wasn't the first time that happened in this series. I think in game 3 or 4, there was a stretch where we just same thing. 5 minutes left, we only had 11 points. It's just it's crazy, man.
Yeah, I don't know how the offense, and who knows, man? Like I was kind of down for Peyton to be put to the bench, but I mean, you're going with a strategy all year and then you change it up, man. It kind of, we went from having that bench to not really having that bench the way it used to be. So,
Yep.
I mean, hindsight's 20/20, man. But I mean, I think. I don't know. Tibbs probably didn't make enough adjustments, and then I think the Rose thing was just.
Yeah, but let me ask this question about Tibbs. Do you think Tibbs had enough personnel to have flexibility to say, okay, Randall's ISO game is not working right now. What else could we do? Do you think Tibbs had the personnel to make adjustments?
Yeah, no. He definitely needed some more, personnel, man. I would have liked to see. I know people get on the Knox stuff. I'm not saying Knox is going to change the game or anything, but it'd be good to just see something different. But he did try to give those guys an opportunity, and they didn't really do much with it. Him and Frank, so I understand, but it just wasn't clicking, man. I mean, you watched the games all year. I mean, they had that certain level where they just played, or they made defensive stops. And of course, this is the playoffs, man. Like anybody plays basketball. I mean, I know personally. I mean, dude, I'd play all year. People would give me 3-pointers. They knew once I got in the tournament, man, do not leave me open anywhere. But you're playing. It's a different level, Some players, when they get to the playoffs or you get to those tournaments, you just play an extra, and that's something I think everyone learned on this team. You've got to turn it up a notch, man.
Oh yeah,
you
definitely.
A couple notches. You can't just walk in there like regular season, man.
Do you think Tibbs should have played Frank a lot more, Frank Ntilikina? Because a lot of the fan base, the Frank hive, man. I mean, they always caping for Frank.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to just see some different looks, man. I mean, even if he gets my, 5 minutes, just to see what type of momentum he could have made, but it's just throwing him in for one defensive play and, not giving. I didn't think he was going to play Knox at all, but, Obi got a lot of minutes. Some of them were good minutes. I mean, I like what I've seen from him throughout the year, but,
Yeah, Obi wasn't polished enough.
Bit.
Obi wasn't polished enough to get a lot of minutes in this series because we needed a player like Obi to play small with Randall to pull Capella out of that paint. And because Obi is a brand new player, there's barely any preseason. There was no summer league, which is extremely important for guys like Quickly and Obi. We seen the end results of that. He just wasn't really polished enough where Tibbs could say, okay, we're about to play small ball. We're gonna force Capella out of the paint. We're gonna have Randall and Obi down low. They're a threat from 3-point range. There just wasn't really those options. Shit was limited.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot of options. I didn't like how I didn't like our defense on the pick and roll and on screens, and I don't think we had enough like pick and rolls and screens, like good screens. I mean, obviously, it's not gonna get you that much separation all the time, but I didn't feel like we had really good screens to really. I feel like every play was like it was really hard to just make a play.
Yeah, there was just no flow.
I said that earlier. Like, one of my buddies was like, just there was zero flow in the game. There's zero flow. Wasn't a lot of space. When guys got the ball, they didn't really have. And you gotta again. I hate to give the team credit because especially this series, I couldn't stand the Hawks and I didn't like. I kind of was like. I didn't want to give him any credit, but you gotta give him some credit for the defense.
I really can't give them credit for their defense. The Knicks just wasn't doing shit. They really wasn't doing anything. Like they just got no production at all. None at all, man. I can't really give the Hawks credit.
The scoring was just stagnant. I don't know. Because I was thinking, I'm like, all right, when the playoffs, we'll probably see a couple different plays. It seemed like it was. I mean, I'm sure they went over stuff, but I didn't see anything new or anything, kind of exciting. Like, all right, they're working on certain plays. It's just everything seemed pretty difficult to get shots. And then none of our shots were falling. If Randall would hit, a couple more shots a game, I mean, this could have been, 2-2 or 3-2,
But for most of the series, we were only down by 11, to 14 points. And just getting nothing out of Randall and RJ. And then we also were shooting ourselves in the foot with these turnovers. And then our defense was giving up a lot of fouls, particularly even in game 5. We gave up a lot of free throws to the Hawks. And then we were turning the ball over at the same time.
Yeah, and they gave Trey a lot of fouls that, the Knicks weren't getting. But you got to know at this point, he's going to get those fouls, so.
And that's bullshit. He shouldn't get them shits.
But you can't.
He's too young. He's too young. He shouldn't get those fouls, man. They're not gonna give those to RJ. They're not gonna even give those type of fouls to other guys in Trae Young's class.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's true. But he was getting to the foul line, and then these guys just hit a lot of damn shots, man. Like, even though I know Hunter's he's a good player, man, but he hit his shots and what's their big man? Oh, I forgot his name.
Capella.
Collins.
Nah, but Collins. But wait, hold on. It's funny you brought up Collins. Collins in this whole series has been up and down, and I believe in game 2 he was a complete non-factor, but we barely won that game. I had a major issue with that. He was a complete non-factor. He got into foul trouble nonstop for the whole game, and then Gallo was on Randall, and Randall still really couldn't take advantage. Even though Gallo is tall, but Gallo's not as athletic and strong as Randall.
Yeah, he's not too quick-footed, and it just was weird with Randall, man. Those spots that he would usually get into, he just wasn't getting there. I don't know if he was taking too long to get to the spots, or, but it was crazy to me because when I seen Gallo on him, especially beginning of the series, I'm like, all right, he's gonna have a field day with Gallo guarding him, but it wasn't happening. He really wasn't able to get to those spots. So
Now, let me tell you this, because May 4th brought up a good point in the chat. He said that the Knicks were way too predictable offensively. That's a great fucking point, especially with Rose on the floor, because they could easily tell Rose was just gonna, he was gonna take the shot.
Yeah, Rose is gonna shoot it or he's gonna drive. I want to say I like Burks, man, but I'll be honest, man. We don't sign Burks, so I don't care, man. I just, as good of a scorer as he is, he just has that tunnel vision, man. And a lot of times it's just like he's not scoring the ball, he's not really looking for anybody. And
yeah, but you know what it is? The Knicks were asking him to do something that was over his pay grade. You know what I'm saying? He's just a guy that's gonna come in, give you a solid 20 to 25 minutes, and the Knicks were just, once again, due to the lack of options from our 1A and 1B just scoring, they were asking other guys to do too much. Reggie Bullock had to hit big shots, particularly in this game in the first quarter. Remember, he was 3 of 4. Yeah. It was only him and Randall scoring in the beginning.
In the game, pretty much.
Say that again?
No, I said Reggie Bullock in the beginning. He kind of kept us in the game, with those 3-point shots. So it's true. You're asking guys who are kind of, I don't want to say journeymen, because that's kind of overused, but they're talented, but you're expecting them to night in, night out, especially when you get to the playoffs. I mean, it's just a different level.
Yeah, it's just a different breed. But let me ask you a question about this. What do you think about, in this series, we've seen Randall for a playoff series so far, and it hasn't been really too good. Do you think this is going to affect his upcoming contract with the Knicks? And you, as a Knicks fan, are you even committed to Randall after you've seen this playoff performance? Would you be committed?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I feel like this series just took him by surprise. I think it took the whole team by surprise, but it's definitely going to affect. I don't see the Knicks going and giving him a huge contract. They'll probably give him, what is he still has this year, right? Is this year guaranteed coming up?
I believe so, or partially guaranteed. Yeah, I think so. I think he has an option, or the team has an option, I believe. But they possibly could give him a short-term deal or something.
Yeah, I think they'll take that option, and then the good thing about where they're at, they could probably tell him, look, man, we're going to get you some help, so let us get you some help. Obviously, it's a business, so he's going to want to get some money up front, but
as he should.
Help and then see, yeah, he deserves it, man. I mean, all-star, you're asking him to do a lot. I mean,
now wait, hold on. Let me throw this monkey wrench at you. He definitely does deserve after this year's performance. But in 2020 and 2021 season, we've seen a number of teams have record high in scoring, shooting efficiency. Everybody was balling this season. Now, because remember, it is the pandemic season. Now,
true.
We have to throw this in there. I'm not taking anything away from Randall, but everybody was balling this year, especially scoring wise. A lot of teams were setting records. Now, do we factor this in? Like, do we have to see Randall do it again with more fans in the stands? With a more kind of free-flowing regular season, like no pandemic, no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just a regular season, and then we also have to see what he does in the playoffs. Do we need to judge Randall on a curve here, or do we need to take away some of that curve? Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, that's that makes sense what you're saying. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, the crowd. I think the crowd makes a difference, but I feel like the level he was playing at was just another level. You know what I mean? But, so I think based on that, he's gonna get paid. But I mean, is he gonna get what he was gonna get before these playoffs? I feel like the playoffs kind of. It's definitely gonna lower his. I wouldn't say lower his value, but he's not gonna get paid that much anymore. Not like before.
Well, hold on. I'm not too sure about that, because let's say the Knicks do pick up the team option. Now it's probably better for him to enter next season as an unrestricted free. That way he could really get paid. You know, even if he doesn't make the max dollars, it's gonna be a lot more money than he could make this summer. Regardless, he's gonna get paid. But it's who's really gonna make that commitment, and then at least hopefully we could get another year to judge. Because I'm telling you, next season I gotta see if everybody's scoring the same. Because we can't find playing in the gym or just. I'm not saying these guys were playing in the gym season, but it felt like a gym atmosphere at times. Versus playing when a crowd's around, we gotta see the differences, man. Because everybody was balling. I'm telling you, if you go to like any NBA site where they keep track of like the scoring and just the historical scoring from teams, I'm telling you, this season there was even teams that were losing were breaking records as far as scoring efficiency.
Yeah, there's a lot of big scoring nights, and no, you're right. It changes a lot. You don't have that crowd. You don't. Pretty much arenas are empty. I mean, they got their little noise or whatever they play in the arena, but that ain't the same thing, So, no, I agree with that. And then, so, hopefully, the way it's lined up right now, he'll get some money in his pocket, and then we'll get that opportunity to see him for another year,
Yeah, for sure.
You got to sell him on. I think they got to sell him on. Hey, man, we're gonna get you smell. No offense to the players we have here, but we're gonna get you a bona fide, second option or third option
or a point guard,
few option,
or a setup man.
A solid point guard. I mean that's something that kind of killed the whole season if you look at it, man. Because even though Derrick Rose stepped up, and we never really had. I was hoping Quickly might be that dude, but he's not really he's a scorer.
Yeah, he's like a combo.
Maybe he could develop. It'd be cool if they sit down with him this summer and say, or he takes it upon himself to be like, I need to get that part of my game up. But I played a lot of point guard, man, and I used to like to score, but my main thing was just getting my teammates going. That's just a certain mentality you got to have as a point guard. I don't know if you a certain.
Yeah, I don't think that's embedded in his game, in Quickly's game. I think Quickly's game is more combo.
It's finding guys in rhythm too, man.
Yeah, it's more rhythm. Yeah, you're right.
So yeah, I mean, I like the. I'm excited about this player Luka. He seems like he's got a good game. So.
Oh yeah, speaking of Luka, man, like, did the Knicks escape with the KP situation? Yo, KP is their weak point. Who would have ever thought that?
True.
KP is the weak point of that team. Even the Clippers, they love attacking the hoop when this guy's on the floor because he not even defending the rim anymore. Like, KP is like a completely different player now.
Yeah, he's I even said that people got mad when he was on the Knicks. I was like, as good as he is, he's just, he's not always on it. He'll have those games, and then he'll have those games where he's not hitting the shot. You know what I mean? And
yeah, his stamina is low.
You got to be consistent, in the league, especially in the NBA. I mean, I think he's going to have a home in Dallas. They're going to give him, I don't know how much they're going to pay him eventually, but I'm sure they're going to try to, keep him on that team. But
but his stamina is low, man. He need to eat them Wheaties, man. His stamina is way too low.
Yeah. And he's injury prone. It's kind of crazy. I think we definitely dodged that. We definitely dodged that.
Yeah, well, how do you feel about Derrick Rose? You think we should bring him back for another year?
Yeah, I'd like to, depending on. I feel like, again, that'll be a safer contract. I think he wants to play under Tibbs, but just don't put the pressure on him like we are right now. Him coming off the bench, I think that was a perfect role. He embraced it. He came in, he did what he had to do, but you're trying to make him a starting point guard, especially in the playoffs, man. It's just way too much to ask of him. And we've seen it. It got to a point where he just ran out of gas. It's way too much.
Mm-hmm. Yo, but how do you feel about the Frank Hive is gonna kill me for asking this question, but does Frank Ntilikina come back for next year?
Yeah, I was saying this the other day. I really think the Knicks are gonna try. I think this draft, even though we're lower in the draft, I think they're gonna try to target a player. Maybe they can't, obviously get Cade or something, but I think they're definitely gonna try to move up in this draft or try to make a play for a trade during draft night. So I think Frank is going to be in that situation. Maybe Frank or not. So
No, I
just
believe
don't
Frank is
see.
an unrestricted. Well, right now, like the season's over. I think Frank is
Oh,
unrestricted.
so he's straight. He's straight. He's not under contract. You're right.
Yeah, he's done.
Yeah.
Like
So
that
I
rookie
don't.
scale contract is done.
Yeah. So I don't see them. I doubt it, man. You know what I mean? I
Yeah, I mean the
definitely
Knicks
doubt
under new
that.
management, they didn't draft Frank, so I'm not sure if they're gonna be as invested.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Now that you say that, I forgot his contract basically. He's done. So yeah, I don't see it, man, because he's obviously not a Tibbs guy. Tibbs is here. I feel like for the long haul.
No, I mean
Especially after
I
this
feel like
year.
Frank could be a Tibbs guy. I just feel like Tibbs wants to win now. He doesn't have the patience for Frank
Yeah,
Ntilikina.
yeah, it's a possibility. I mean, we'll see, but if I was to bet on it, I wouldn't be surprised not to see Frank around. Come this off season. And like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Burks, but I just feel like he probably played himself out of our price range. But we'll see. Um, we'll see come summer.
Yeah, let me ask you
You
this
know.
question: do the Knicks next season get out of the whole 1 year deal rabbit hole shit that they've been on, like for the past like 5 years, where we just have a bunch of guys we're not really committed to, we're not invested, and we just sort of we have them on a 1 year deal because it's hard to build a team like that. Do we continue
Yeah.
at that same pace because next season it's set up for this team to be completely different again? I believe most of the guys
Yeah,
are
I
on one
feel
year
like
deals.
no, I agree with you. I feel like they definitely got to go the route of getting some, identifying who they're gonna pick up in free agency. Obviously they already got the kid from overseas, Luca. Um, you're gonna have Randall. Obviously RJ's in the future, but I feel like depending who they could get free agency, I mean, I don't see too many players. I don't know. I don't think anybody's gonna be that safe. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll see. Because I think at this point, especially getting the playoffs this year, we didn't make the playoffs this year, but the fact that we did, I think they're gonna try to go full throttle on getting those players
Yeah, I 100% agree. They have
in
to
a
go full
splash.
throttle because I said this
Yeah.
before. RJ and Julius Randle, where they're at in their careers, they're gonna have to get more polished guys around them. They don't want to end up like Carl
Yeah.
Anthony Towns, where they've been in the league for a good minute, but they keep getting these fresh 19-year-olds to put around them that's trying to just
Yeah.
make all-star teams and get, kind of individual accolades and not really about winning. Because Carl Anthony Towns is in that weird situation where it's like, damn, I got all these young draft picks around me. Like, I'm really trying to be somewhere else in my career as far as winning. But these guys don't really care about that. They just want to score their points. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I feel like RJ right now wants to go up to the next level. But I'm not sure if throwing a 19-year-old starter right next to him and Randall right now is where the Knicks are going to be looking at. Maybe they're going to package that Mavericks draft pick and their own first round draft pick and maybe someone else on the team that's sort of valuable for something.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why they have all those draft. Like, I mean, why accumulate all those draft picks if you're not gonna make a big move with them? So I feel like this summer, even draft night, we'll probably see hopefully a bigger move. You know.
Definitely,
And then
definitely.
start signing guys to contracts like you said that on just a year or a 2 year, because you want people to know they're here for the long haul, and it just makes a difference, And then
Mm-hmm.
like you say, you want to build a team for the future. Like this year you got a bunch of guys on year contracts. Most of these guys aren't going to be here. So
yeah, and it's just keep getting stuck in that rabbit hole, just these 1 year deals. I feel like, this season maybe we're gonna have to take a deep dive into guys that we could actually commit to maybe for 2-3 years to possibly, have them on the team longer because or maybe the NBA is not set up like that, but it's definitely not set up for guys to keep being on 1 year deals every season.
no, I think that was them just saying, all right, we're gonna put this team together. I mean, I think they might have had a bigger plan than what we might have saw. I mean, I don't think they were thinking fourth seed, but I think they kind of had a game plan. But at the end of the day, they weren't ready to commit, long term with this summer coming up. You know what I mean? To their season, you know, seeing what some of these players were able to do, and probably some of them will get contracts, based on this year. But I think next year, I think this summer and off season, we're going to see a lot of big moves.
Yeah, but who on this current team you like to see return? You say you're not really feeling Burks, or he might have played himself out of our price range.
He's a good player, man. I hate to hate him because he's had some good games for us, but yeah, I don't know. But I like to see Noel.
Oh yeah, for sure, Noel.
Backup.
He low key saved the season this year, Noel. With Mitchell Robinson being out, in and out the lineup like that, he low key saved the season.
Oh yeah, that could have been. I mean, when that happened, I was like, oh man.
Yeah, but, I was like, damn.
Obviously, it was not Mitch, but he did a lot. You gotta give him credit. So yeah, I'd like to see him back. Definitely Derrick Rose. Yeah, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of Burks, but Bullock, for the right price. I don't know if I want to see him starting though, but I don't know how that'll work for him, but I wouldn't mind getting Bullock back on the right price, just to have some of that chemistry. I mean, you can't keep everybody, but I think it would be crazy to just like let all those guys walk and then start. Not saying start from scratch. You still got Randall, you still got RJ and Mitch, but then bring some of those guys back to keep the team going, keep the flow going.
Yeah, keep that chemistry going. Yeah, and that's what I was referring to before with all these 1 year deals that Steve Mills was on all the time. That shit does not work long term.
Yeah. So
hopefully the Knicks could begin to move away from that. But also, I think a person that's going to be a bigger factor next season, I'm expecting Toppin to have more of an impact on his team because I'm praying to God next season the NBA brings back that summer league where him and Quickly could be in that, and then the combination of a full preseason, like that shit is needed. Because
that would be great. From what I'm hearing, I didn't get any definite because I go out there with some friends, not every year, but we've been out there a couple years. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have it in Vegas again, but I'm not definite. But yeah, that would be good. And then, hopefully these guys realize they got to work on their games. You know what I mean? I hope he puts in some work over the summer and you see him more comfortable off the dribble. My problem with him, he's just not as comfortable making his own shot, creating his own shot, and he's got to get there.
Not yet.
That high of a pick, he needs to be able to.
I would say not yet because, once again, he got thrown into the NBA. There was no summer league. They played 2 bullshit preseason games, and then they had like a day, like the Knicks started off the season just having a day or 2 off with a bunch of games. Like barely any practice, and every other day you have a game in a compressed season. That's a lot to throw at a brand new pick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I see that they always bring up Obi Toppin's age.
Yeah, you got the traveling. That's the main thing because kind of a few people I know in the league, but that's what I hear is the biggest thing. Like when I ask them about balling, it's like just that flight and going on sleeping in hotel rooms and it's just a lot.
All that with no practice.
So
low key this season, a lot of teams ain't practice, including the Knicks. Like there was no real time to practice like that, especially when the season started.
Yeah, and we had a lot of matinee games, man. I felt like we had a lot of 1 o'clock.
Yep.
Afternoon games. It was crazy.
Yep, and that's what I'm saying. Tibbs did a good job, especially this season when the season first started, the fact that Knicks they haven't played in like 8 months, and the league just kind of threw them a schedule where they can not only get sick because of the pandemic, but they threw them a schedule where, damn son, like they're a young team, everyone's on 1 year deals. They ain't even got their chemistry down right. They just being tossed in these games. But
Yeah.
we, things kind of held in, and then once we got the Derrick Rose trade, things started gluing together a bit better. And we were fortunate guys didn't really get, too many situations with the pandemic being out in and out of games.
Yeah, we didn't really have any bad, what was it, Derrick Rose
and Burks.
Burks, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it wasn't too crazy. And then that was a slick move, getting rid of Dennis Smith Jr. and freeing up that slot for Derrick Rose, which the Detroit Pistons didn't really need Derrick Rose because they were tanking.
Yeah.
That team was tanking, so they didn't want Derrick Rose to come in and average like 15 points a game.
Yeah, that was it worked out for both teams, but I think definitely worked out for us. And him being able to teach the young guy, work with Obi, work with Quickly, just his experience, So as I said, I definitely hope we keep Derrick Rose, but don't put that much,
Yeah, not too much stock into him. Yeah, but what do you think the Knicks are gonna do with What do you think the Knicks are gonna do with Kevin Knox? He's just sort of floating right now.
The writing's on the wall with that. And honestly, I've always been a fan, but he's gotta, you can't have those defensive lapses. But I think when he shoots, if he's in rhythm, I mean, he's a dangerous shooter. So I think he has value. I think if they add him to a trade or something, he's gonna have value. I just don't know, But like you said, you make me think a little different. I mean, Tibbs might just be thinking, "Hey, I want to win now. I can't use these guys, but I might use them in the future." But just the way he used them this year, I'd say, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't with the Knicks next year, which is kind of crazy because that's 2 lottery picks right there. But it happens.
Somewhat lottery, I would say. But it's strange because even with Knox, they gave him an extension for next season. Like they read him up on his rookie scale extension for his final deal, his final year on that deal. So I'm surprised, like when the season started, that they gave. I didn't think they was gonna give Knox another deal. I thought they was just gonna let him hit unrestricted, but they gave him another deal. So I was like, wow, they locked him in for next year. But the whole season went by. I seen Knox on the bench. I'm like, so what the fuck are they doing then? Like, they're gonna figure out what to do with him and what?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I felt like he could have got some more time here and there, but Tibbs he's no nonsense, and one little mistake, not say one little mistake, he did make some mistakes out there, but he's definitely hard. He was, hard on some of these guys. If they weren't doing what he wanted them to do, that was it. So, but yeah, it'd be great to see him. I think with the right team, I'm not gonna say he's gonna be a star or anything, but I think he could be a definite role player. On the right team. So
for sure. Well, yo, I appreciate you calling, man. I'm about to just wrap this up or just take another call, but yo, man, definitely man. Keep up with the alerts because I'm definitely gonna do more live shows, especially during the off season because this shit's gonna heat up, man.
Oh yeah, it's gonna heat up, man. Now you start looking at that draft. I like the draft, so I ain't paying too much. I know the top picks, but I didn't really get too into it with the season. So that'll be fun. I'll make sure I call again. And so like I say to all Knicks fans, keep your head up, man. This is a good year.
Definitely, there's no reason to be ashamed.
We could have had a better series, but I think making the playoffs is key, and just showing other teams that we're relevant again.
Hell yeah! Yo, game 1, we reminded everybody how the fucking Garden is supposed to really be like, man. We reminded everyone, yo, this is why the Garden's the Mecca. Cause even LeBron James was watching that game and he had to tweet about it. Cause it was like, whoa, the energy over there is unfucking real.
It's good energy, man. And you think some of these players right now, if I'm a free agent right now, or I'm looking to get traded, you gotta be looking at the Knicks, and then now you could say, all right, I could play with Randall, I could play with Rose, RJ. Obi and quickly. You know, you got some. We were able to showcase our players this year. You know, so that was a good thing. You know?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because a lot of these young guys, they're looking to create a profile for themselves. They're looking for clout, and the way they saw the Garden was lit, they're like, wow, these guys just started rebuilding, and this is how it looks like when they have like an inch of success. Like shit.
Yeah, just a little success, and look where we look where we're at. So that was like I thought it was necessary.
Hey yo, this season the TV ratings did not lie, man. The Knicks had double the ratings of the Nets, even though the Nets got Kyrie, KD, and James Harden. The Knicks still outdid them.
That team, it's just they never realized, it's New York's always been a Knicks town, man. I mean, even if this team was to make some real noise in the playoffs, I don't know. I'd like to see who they play next. When they go against who do they be playing? The Bucks, right?
Oh yeah, that series is gonna be a very nice series.
If they can't, if they beat the Bucks, that's one thing. But if they can't get past the Bucks, man, that would definitely quiet people. So I'm hoping to see that, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. But yo, I appreciate you, Chef, man. We're definitely gonna catch up. We're definitely gonna speak again, man.
Definitely, man. We'll link up, man.
All right, definitely. All right. Stay up, man.
All right, bro.
Peace, brother. Peace. All right, once again, man, my fellow Knicks fans, nothing to really be ashamed about. Definitely, it's been a long season because of the pandemic situation, and just it's been a very unique season because we were not really expected to catch the league by storm. The media especially had a plan to promote the Brooklyn Nets as like, the team to be in New York, and the Knicks just came out of nowhere and just surprised them. And we reminded everyone what the NBA looks like when the Knicks are popping, because best believe that game one energy, no other arena was matching that. But I'm gonna wrap this up. Definitely, you guys, we're gonna catch up. Definitely sign up for the email list. That way you can keep alerts on when we're gonna do these live call-ins. We're definitely gonna do a lot more of these due to the fact that the Knicks are gonna have to make a lot of off-season moves. We're gonna touch base on a lot of this. And shout out to everyone in the group chat. Shout out to Chef for calling up. And definitely, you guys, stay up. And ain't nothing to be ashamed about for our 2020-2021 Knicks. Until next time, you guys stay safe. Peace.